On the cold and snowy street, an Akita dog is constantly searching for garbage. When it finds food, it immediately turned around and ran towards the direction of the forest. Then he will climb onto an abandoned van. It hands the food in its mouth to the deceased owner on the car. Happy's behavior has been going on for more than half a year now, because he just felt like the owner was asleep in the car. He shuttles back and forth on the street every day, covered in dirt. She was just looking for some food. On this day, he passed through a jungle. In an instant, he could smell a strong aroma of grilled meat. He cautiously walked through the grass towards the camping spot where the crowd was camping, but everyone's disgusted with him for being dirty. Some even hit him with wooden sticks. 2 strong blows caused Happy to scream in pain. He hobbled towards the forest. The blood on the cheeks kept flowing down. Happy no longer has the strength to stand up. The feeling of spinning around instantly enveloped him. At this moment, a familiar call from the owner seemed to come to his ear again. Memories of the past slowly emerged in his weak eyes. He first met his master in a small bamboo basket. The whole family was extremely fond of Happy's arrival. Master Aojin personally made a whole wooden doghouse for him. Even for family gatherings and walks, they always bring Happy with them. They will leave the most delicious beef for him. When his little daughter grew up slowly, Happy is slowly growing up, and facing Happy's strong physique. His little daughter started to dislike him for not being as cute as when she was a child. Slowly, the whole family was left with only Oken, who was as good to Happy as ever. But this warmth did not last long. Aojin was dismissed by the company on the grounds of being too old. With the decline in quality of life, his wife began to despise everything in this family. He even started putting on makeup for dates in front of Oken's face.
今日残業だからご飯の支度お願いね。
And daughter has also reached a rebellious age. She started playing all day and never returning home at night. However, what made him even more desperate was that the hospital has detected the bad news that he has a heart disease. Just as he sat by the river in despair, he didn't expect Happy to unexpectedly pick up a lottery ticket. He played with a try attitude for a while, but it turns out he won the first prize of a trip to the spa. He returned home with joy, but he was greeted by the divorce agreement given by his wife.
一緒にいたくないほど嫌いになったわけじゃない。だけどあなたを支えていくほどの強い思いがもうないの。
He had already planned a family trip in his heart, but now there's only he and one dog left wandering alone. But misfortunes are unexpected, just like life. He decides to take a last trip in life with his dog. This little boy is going to steal the bread from the shelf. He seems to have not eaten for many days. Just as he was about to sneak it into his clothes, Oken behind prevented his actions. He put the bread in his shopping basket and bought it together. After the other party eats the bread in large gulps, Oken suggested taking him to the beach to take a shower together, but the exposed scars on the boy's back during the shower made Oken very distressed. He decided to travel with the boy the next day and assist him in finding his family.
事情があるんだったらさ、警察とか児童相談所とかに行って。
But his kindness did not receive a good reward. When Oken wakes up again the next day, the little boy and his own money have all disappeared. The stimulated Aojin's heart began to ache. Happy watched him anxiously spin back and forth as he looked uncomfortable. The master comforts Happy. As long as he takes the medicine, he will be fine. After finishing the medicine, Oken continued to take Happy and set off further. But now they don't have a penny on them. Selling food and clothing is the most important issue at this time. Aojin decided to sell some of his collections, but for antique shops, his things are completely worthless. After being rejected by the boss, Oken's mood was very depressed. However, their misfortune is clearly not over yet. He found that Happy was mentally depressed, which was clearly due to illness. Aojin hurriedly drove to the nearby pet hospital, but he is unable to afford the high cost. He had to go back to the antique shop again. He begged the boss to recycle his only watch. The boss saw how pitiful he was and ultimately agreed to his request. Happy has finally received simple treatment. When his condition improved, Oken decided to take him on to the next destination. But Oken found that his heart seemed to be getting worse and worse. Even Happy beside him felt it. And Oken has already finished even the last life-saving medicine. He secretly comforted himself in his heart. Anyway, it can't be cured. It's okay if there's no medicine left. On this day, Aojin passed by a seaside restaurant with Happy. At this moment, he has realized that his own financial situation and illness may not allow him to continue to carry Happy for the rest of the journey. He found the restaurant owner, I hope the other party can keep the smart Happy. After the boss learned about his situation, he agreed to adopt Happy, because he is also a dog lover. Ajin personally wrote Happy's name on the small doghouse at the entrance of the restaurant. Even if there is a myriad of reluctance in my heart, but he had to make this painful decision. With the roaring sound of cars, Happy seemed to understand that Oken had abandoned him. It began to scream with heart-wrenching cries, trying to break free from the iron chains. Oken couldn't bear to see him struggling to break free. In the end, Oken had to continue his journey with Happy. When the fuel in the car is also depleted, he walked deep into the jungle with Happy. This seems to be a camping site. He took Happy to the camping site to search. He hopes to find camping items discarded by others. After their efforts, Happy discovered delicious food discarded by others. This place has both food and cooking utensils. Seems like a great place to live, but with the arrival of cold air, the camping site soon entered the snow season, and almost no one comes camping here anymore. In order to fill their stomachs, they can only eat some mountain game every day to make ends meet. Even the dry grasshopper was not spared. But due to long-term malnutrition, Oken's condition is becoming increasingly severe. When the heavy snow covers the entire forest, Oken knows that his illness may not be long before he dies. In order to prevent his wife and daughter from knowing, he destroyed all his information. Oken, who returned to the car, was already on the brink of death. He asked Happy to leave and not come back again. He used all his strength to push the car door open and drive Happy out of the car. He is full of reluctance towards this beautiful world. At this moment, he cannot conceal this loneliness and fear. But Happy just felt that the owner was too hungry. On the snowy streets, he tried his best to find food for his master. Even if Oken didn't eat these foods, he still searches for food for his master every day and comes back. It doesn't know it at the moment. Its owner has already died in this cold winter. As time goes by, spring comes again. The loach in the field finally made Happy have a satisfying meal, because it searches for food every day. His snow-white fur has become dirty. It looks like a stray dog in appearance. The pedestrians on the road all cast disdainful glances at him whenever it see a little dog accompanied by its owner on the street. Happy seems to be able to think of the happy times he spent with his master in the past. On that day, he smelled the aroma of roasted meat from afar. He knew someone was camping again. He slowly walked towards the camping base. He wants to pick up 2 bites of meat to bring back to the owner. But his wild dog-like appearance made the tourists appear somewhat frightened. A man picked up a wooden stick and threw it at Happy. As the wooden sticks hit it one by one, Happy's screams echoed through the woods for a long time. It dragged its injured front leg with blood on its head towards its owner's direction. The injured dizziness gradually weakened Happy. He has almost lost the strength to walk.
Happy. Happy. Oide.
In a daze, he seemed to hear his master shout again. That familiar voice seemed to give him firm courage. He endured the excruciating pain and walked step by step towards his master again.
Yosh, Happy. よく頑張ったな。ゆっくりおやすみ。
In the end, Happy successfully walked to the owner's side. He finally doesn't have to work hard every day searching for food anymore. I believe he and his master will definitely meet in heaven and accompany each other happily. All small animals have the right to survive in this world. If you don't like them, but please try not to harm them as much as possible.